March 28th, 2022. Time is 6:46. Ben, would you please call the roll?
Member Orr?
Here.
Member Matheny?
Here.
Member Revolt?
Here.
Member Stroya?
Here.
Member Warren?
Here.
Member Wyrick?
Here.
And Member McLeister?
Here.
7 present.
Okay, the first and only item on the agenda is ordinance 34-2022. Ben, would you please read the title for the record?
An ordinance authorizing the vacation of a portion of Woodside Avenue Northeast from the south property line of parcel number 100127172 to the north property line of parcel number 9280019 located within the corporate limits of the city of North Canton.
Okay, would we like to summarize this? We've talked about this several times. This is the vacation of Woodside along the school. It would be the extension from regular Woodside if you go straight through. If you put the map on, you can see. So any petitioners tonight that would like to speak? Anybody to wish to speak in favor? Anybody willing to speak against?
About 1307 30th Street Southeast, North Canton, Ohio. I haven't looked into this one iota. I do recall back 20 years ago when I was on this body, looking at the bigger picture, I had always envisioned that maybe Woodside would be extended all the way up to Apple Grove. If you think about the bigger picture, people that want to come from the northwest part of town to Hoover High School have to travel all the way down to Apple Grove to Main Street and come up in that direction. If you had an alternate ingress into the Hoover High School property, you would alleviate some of this traffic that has to come down 7th or 10th or down Main or Apple Grove. Again, I haven't really restudied it, but this is something I thought would come to fruition maybe years down the line. As you know, Hoover is a focal point of the community. We have public fields there. We have a big public park. We're putting huge sums of money in. I don't know why, maybe that, and maybe it was discussed, because this is all done really kind of behind the scenes, or I don't know, I haven't been engaged in it. But this is something I envisioned 20 years ago to improve the traffic flow in this city. Because again, anybody that lives in the north, northwest, get to Hoover. Now, I guess you could go down Marquardt and snake around again. I don't know if I'm 100% for this, but that's my 2 cents. Which amounts to nothing up here. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Last opportunity. Anybody from council willing to speak, share opinions? Administration? All right. Okay, seeing none, I motion that we adjourn.
Revolt seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned. I now call to order the City Council meeting of Monday, March 28th, 2022. The time is 7 p.m. Opening prayer, Reverend Darrell.
Thank you very much. Please rise for the prayer and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance. Move by your head. Almighty God, we stand tonight in awe of the mystery of your hand. It is a beautiful day. There are flowers, there are buds, there are bird song, and yes, even snowflakes. As we attempt to guide our city's future, would you please provide us with wisdom, understanding, grace? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ben, would you please call the roll?
Member McLeaster?
Here.
Member Wyrick?
Here.
Member Warren?
Here.
Member Shroya?
Here.
Member Revolt?
Here.
Member Matheny?
Here.
And Member Orr?
Here.
7 present.
Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to approve as presented minutes from March 14th and 21st?
Revolt moves. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, recognition of the public. At this time, members of the public wishing to address City Council may do so. Each speaker will be granted 5 minutes. Please come to the podium and begin by stating your name and address for the record. As a reminder, the rules are posted on the screen. Violation of the rules is ground for suspension and speaking revocation of speaking privileges. Anybody wishing to address council?
Brad Davis, 1678 Meadow Lane Drive, Southeast. Good evening, Mayor, Administration, City Council. I would like to speak tonight on Monticello Phase 8, Ordinance 30-2022. When Phase 8 was authorized to proceed, the developer was required to install an emergency gate with a Knox lock located at the east end of Grassmere Street Southeast, along with other requirements. As of this time, the Knox lock has not been installed. You have that picture up there? There's the gate. You can see it's wide open. The reason for my concern is when construction begins, the workers will take the shortest route. Grassmere Street Southeast is not a through route. It terminates at this emergency gate to Phase 8. I'm aware that tonight's a second reading. I would ask council to suspend the third reading if ordinance 3022, if the Knox lock is not installed by that time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can we comment on that? So I had written to Marty and I've said we were going to find out. So we're working with the developer to find out why the locks aren't on it at this point. Correct, Rob?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, Mr. Davis and I spoke last week
Okay.
after the meeting, and I called the developer the next day, and he said he would look into it and get it out there. He didn't know if it was a supply chain, but
Yeah.
yeah, it needs to be locked to keep people out, especially once houses start
Yeah.
going under
I
construction.
haven't seen anyone open
Contractors
it
will
yet.
use that. So.
Right?
Wide open.
But no one's, I haven't seen been driving through. No, it was shut the other day. Okay.
I think that picture showed it open. So
Okay.
with the one gate swung open.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay. Moving on to old business. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only, ordinance 6-2022?
Revolt moves. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance amending Chapter 1127, Establishment of Districts and Map, specifically Section 1127.01, Establishment of Districts of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton in order to remove the chart of districts contained therein.
I don't believe we have any additional questions. This is a technical cleanup. in essence, we're going to have the descriptions in one location rather than two to ensure that there's no confusion or ambiguity as future changes. Okay? If there are no other questions or comments, I move the adoption of the third reading of ordinance 6-22.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7B. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 26-2022?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance amending Chapter 103, Official Standards of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton in order to adopt a new city seal.
Well, we used to be known as the Dogwood City, and that was on all the different seals throughout the city. We've been using this for quite some time. It's just some more cleanup work. This is the second reading. There wasn't any questions with the first reading.
This is our brand, is it not, John?
Yes. So, I make a motion.
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7C. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 27-2022?
Revolt moves.
Where's second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance repealing Chapter 701, General Licensing Provisions of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton.
All right, this is a licensing, actually, B should. Instead of C.
Yeah, so this goes hand in hand with ordinance 28-2022. Ordinance 28 says that you have to have a license for commercial amusements, which includes things like musicals and minstrel shows. And then ordinance 27 is how you apply for that license. So they're a little backwards, but chronologically, because 701 comes before 703, that's how they ended up this way.
Thank you. Any questions? or-
This is just a modernization.
Yeah.
Of language. I move we adopt the second reading of ordinance 27-22.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I thought you were on 26-22.
No.
26
No,
was
we
the
passed
seal.
that.
26 was a seal. We did that.
7D. Moving on to 7D. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 28-2022?
Revolt moves.
Where's second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance repealing Chapter 709, Commercial Amusements of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton.
So we want to do some more cleanup here as well. And this is just telling you that you need a license for that. So, I'll make a motion to accept that.
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7E. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 29-2022?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance amending Chapter 137, Department of Police of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, specifically Section 137.04, Personnel, in order to increase the authorized number of police sergeants to 6.
This is the changing of the staffing, but not adding to staff that Chief Kemp brought up in our meeting of the whole, where he wants to add a 6th sergeant to the roster so that it'll help in overall scheduling of the department. So I don't know that there's any questions. If anybody has any questions, speak up now, but I would like to make a motion that we approve this for the second reading.
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7F, ordinance, let's see, could we have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 30-2022?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ben? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance accepting a record plat of Monticello Phase 8 located within the corporate limits of the City of North Canton.
Okay, we've discussed this several times. Any comments, questions? Uh, Make a motion.
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business, 8A. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only, ordinance 32-2022?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of economic development revenue notes of the city under Section 13, Article 8 of the Ohio Constitution and Chapter 165 of the Ohio Revised Code to pay costs of a project as defined in Section 165.01 of the Ohio Revised Code for the purpose of creating or preserving jobs and employment opportunities and improving the economic welfare of the city and its residents and the state of Ohio, providing for the pledge for that purpose of certain non-tax revenues, establishing certain funds of the city, approving related documents, and declaring an emergency.
As we discussed last week, we have two short-term debt instruments for our consideration this evening. 3222 is the acquisition of new debt in the amount of roughly $2.5 million. The term is for 1 year, and the interest rate is 1.4%. And these funds will be used for economic development purposes, principally the acquisition of assets. Is there anything else anyone needs to? If not, then I move we adopt the first reading of ordinance 32-22.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings?
Revolt will move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 32-2022 under suspension of the rules?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 8B, can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 33-2022?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Benny?
An ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of economic development revenue notes of the city under Section 13, Article 8 of the Ohio Constitution and Chapter 165 of the Ohio Revised Code to pay costs of a project as defined in Section 165.01 of the Ohio Revised Code for the purpose of creating or preserving jobs and employment opportunities and improving the economic welfare of the city and its residents and the state of Ohio, providing for the pledge for that purpose of certain non-tax revenues, establishing certain funds of the city, approving related documents, and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance extends debt we assumed or acquired a number of months ago for the acquisition of property. That amount, the amount is $4.5 million. The interest rate is 1.4%, and the term of the debt is 1 year. I move we adopt first reading of ordinance 33-22.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 33-2022 under suspension of the rules?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to 8C. Can I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 34-2022?
Revolt moves.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Ben?
An ordinance authorizing the vacation of a portion of Woodside Avenue Northeast from the south property line of parcel number 100122172 to the north property line of parcel number 9280019, located within the corporate limits of the city of North Canton.
Okay, we've discussed this several times too. This is the vacation of the Woodside Street abutting next to the high school. Any comments, questions? I move we adopt.
Revolt seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 34-2022 under suspension of the rules?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I will recuse myself for 8D.
We have a motion and a second to read by title, only ordinance 35-2022.
Revolt moves.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt the first reading
You
of
need to
ordinance.
call all
Oh,
in
sorry,
favor.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay,
An ordinance accepting a preliminary plat of the Sanctuary Phase 5 located within the corporate limits of the city of North Canton.
okay, can I have a motion and a second to adopt the first reading of ordinance 25-2022?
Revolt moves.
35.
Did I say 35? You said 25? 35-2022,
Revolt moves.
okay? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Could I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings?
Revolt moves.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And finally, can we have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 35-2022 under suspension of the rules?
Revolt moves.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Okay. We're good.
If you'd be so kind, Frank.
Department reports.
All right. Deputy Director of Administration.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we all know, a very valuable asset in our community is our golden senior citizen population. As you walked in, I don't know if you noticed to the right, walk out, those to the left, the tables that are in that area. We were able to supply a few card tables. We are going to begin, that starts, I think it's next Thursday, April 7th, we're going to have the first card club that's going to meet here. We're allowing the Civic Center just to be open from the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll have 2 sets, about 3.5 hour increments, where seniors who's expressed that interest to us of wanting to have a place to come and just gather and play cards, you can rent this through our facilities rental online, or you can call administration department. So we have that available. We're starting that. Also coming up, April 13th is the Senior Expo that the Chamber is doing, also here in the ballroom. Terry Burke is here from the Chamber. Lots of good vendors will be there with information, and I'm saying that right, things that they offer to seniors in our area. And again, that's the 13th. I think is that free and show up. There's no registration for that, so I just want to get that out. We're also working with the library on senior programming. So the library is hiring someone full-time. We have a space to do senior programming, but no staff, and they'll have staff, and they're going to have the space, so it's a perfect marriage. So we have that going on. Wanted to also let everyone know by word of mouth, get it out, that the summer jobs, summer positions, summer workers is posted. We are looking for people to work in our Parks and Rec department, street department. We always need help. We have about a dozen positions, so if you know anyone that's interested, any sons, daughters, nieces, nephews that would like to have a summer job with the city of North Canton, that's the best way we find people. So have them go on our website and apply. Also coming up, this is going to be next week, next Saturday. Is it next Saturday? It's the 8th. I'll say that right. April, it's the 720 market is up at our beautiful Arrowhead Country Club. 9th, I'm sorry, that's Saturday, April 9th. And, 720 market is such a hit in our community. People come from all around to the 720 market, and this is the first time it'll be at Arrowhead Country Club. So just to mark your calendars for that. As far as the park goes, not much more of an update on Dogwood Park because, you see what's going on. We were supposed to have a playground equipment inspection today, but it was under snow. So that's getting, pushed back. I will have a date. Everyone wants to know I will have a date. I've been saying it'll be in April. It's going to depend on the progress and the weather to see when we'll do it. It's going to be on a weekend, Saturday. It's looking like a best day. So I'll let you know as soon as we get a little closer. That's all I have.
Quick question.
Sure.
What's the fee we're charging for the senior citizens?
Nothing. It's free.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's
And
free.
then
Come.
for the 720 market, I think you have to call for reservations on this.
I think Lynn Shimko's group did set that up with COVID.
Fine.
There's kind of like a online book your spot, but there isn't, there isn't any tickets or anything. It's just she's trying to get an idea of how many people will attend.
Thank you.
Director of Finance,
I have no report.
Director of Administration.
Just one item to let you FYI that administration will be beginning negotiations on a labor agreement with the Service Workers Union. 3-year expiration is up at the in October. I have viewed that as really a poor time for there to be. I'm sorry, it's not October, it's August. They got another one in October. In August, when we're in the midst of trying to develop our budget, trying to do contract negotiations. So somehow it never used to be this way. I'm not quite sure over the decade and a half last that they got kind of off track, but we've opened up negotiations. We start early. I'd like to finish early, hopefully have something to council real soon for you to look at. But we would like to get this thing wrapped up and get them on a timetable that doesn't require our attention to be diverted into some other more important matters. Just FYI. That's it.
City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will check again with our developer based on Mr. Davis's comments earlier and mention that the thought possibility is there that its third reading could get tabled if we don't see a lock. Not that we would, but it's a nice threat, so. He's got a lot of lots to sell, so I will follow up with that. And then also our Pittsburgh Phase 2 waterline project started on Monday the 21st. So we're making good progress out there on Pittsburgh. It is outside the city. Got some minor detours with Baton closed, but it's just an 8-hour detour during the workday. and still waiting to tell you about a few grants that up at the seams to tell you about, but I can't as we get through a 30-day notification period that the public has for the agency. So I'll tell you about that. Other than that completes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mayor Water.
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening. I want to welcome the two students here in our audience for coming to our city council meeting tonight. Catherine, thanks again. I appreciate your update. One of our goals when we, for the city administration for the last 2 years was to try to find a safe, accessible location for our seniors. And finally, I think we're at that point now where you can get into our civic center, make it more available for our seniors to have a safe location for their activities that they're interested in. So I'm very grateful to have that. And I appreciate council's oversight tonight on the support of ordinance 32, 2022, and of course 33, 2022, as we continue our vision and goals for the economic development of several areas in our city. So that was a very important piece of work tonight. On a separate note, I'd like to share with you on occasion, on Sunday, March the 27th, just yesterday, the Stark County Veterans Service Commission held the Vietnam War Veterans Day ceremony at Massillon Washington High School. I had the honor to present a letter of appreciation and welcome messages and share a bit of my family heritage on the military side. Part of our heritage was, I was honored to be present there and recognize my father, Ken Wilder Sr., served in the U.S. Army in World War II as the first lieutenant, 69th Division Infantry in World War II and Korea. He had 3 sons that were involved in the Vietnam War era. My older brother, Ken Jr., was in the United States Navy in AT-2. He was an aviation electronics technician, 2nd class. Did 2 tours in Vietnam, stationed at Clark Air Force Base, Philippines. My brother Lloyd was a captain in the United States Air Force, stationed at Tan Son Nhut Air Force Base, and was in intelligence. And for myself, I was stationed stateside. But I'd like to share with you that Vietnam War Veterans Day ceremony letter of appreciation. It goes like this. I read, "Thank you for the invitation to participate in the March 27, 2022 Vietnam War Veterans Day ceremony. As a veteran of the Vietnam War era, I am honored to be present with the families, friends, and veterans of all U.S. military service branches. I offer heartfelt appreciation to all our veterans for their service to our country. Your dedication and commitment to the ideas of our democracy are an inspiration. May we all work together to aspire to those ideas, to honor your service and sacrifice through the Vietnam War era and beyond. May we always remember those who gave their last full measure of devotion. We honor their selfless courage and dedication to God, country, and humanity. We all appreciate your efforts and your loyalty and service to our country around the globe. Our service meant consistency above self, contribution above consumption, stewardship over exploitation, and responsibility with freedom." That was a letter I had the opportunity to share. I also want to just bring to our community's attention that tomorrow, March 29th, is National Vietnam War Veterans Day. And every year since it was founded in 2017, this National Day has continued to be recognized on March the 29th. Aside from honoring those who fought, 4 other parts of this day that are meant to be highlighted are the service of the armed forces and support organizations during the war, the wartime contributions at home, the advancements of technology, science, and medicine, and the contributions by the American allies. I share that because of the veterans that we have living in our community. I just want them to be duly recognized at this very special national observance. So I wanted that read into the record, and I appreciate the time, Mr. President, for me to do that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Council Clerk, Ben?
Thank you. Just want to share 2 bits of happy news. First, our new Assistant Clerk of Council, Mr. Kevin Koblenz, will be starting with us this Thursday. He is a graduate of Kent State University, which means that the staff Kent versus Walsh kickball game, he will unfortunately be on the mayor's team and not mine. He is also currently pursuing his master's of public administration, and we are very excited to have him join us. And then secondly, the city's spring newsletter will be hopefully going out this Friday. We are working on finishing that up. It will just be digital. We are not planning to mail this one, so please keep your eyes out for it on Facebook, Twitter, etc., and share and like and help promote it to everyone in the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. Council reports. Start with Jamie.
I have no report this evening.
It's disappointing.
I know.
David?
And I also do not have a report for personnel and safety this week.
Stephanie?
Been covered.
Oh. We kind of set a time right there. John?
Well, thank you, Mayor, for your service yesterday, or was it Sunday? Also, I heard someone from the Veterans Association speak. You guys know how many veterans we have living in Stark County? Like 25,000. It's kind of amazing. So, there's a lot of veterans out there. I want to thank Ben in covering while I was gone for a week. It was 85 all week last week in Florida. I come back, Ohio's frozen to white sand today, the other day, so. But, that's all my report. Everything's going good and local.
Thanks, John. Daryl?
Mayor, thank you for your comments regarding acknowledgement of honoring Vietnam veterans. I wish I'd had the foresight to include a prayer this evening. The names of some North Cantonians who were killed in Vietnam. Ed Beck, David Bryan, Charles Kuhn. Two of those were my classmates. It's more, I think, I think we tend to look at the sacrifice, particularly as time passes, as some sort of academic function. But the reality is that this community paid a fairly heavy price in Vietnam, and I think we owe a debt of gratitude to their parents of those who were killed. That's my report.
Thank you. Christina?
No report.
All right. I would like to say welcome to Kevin Koblenz as well. Good luck being Ben's assistant. Tough job there. That's all I've got. Buy and support local. Look at the meetings calendar coming up. On April 4th, we have a committee of the whole. On April 11th, we have a public hearing. We will talk about the city hall or the city council on the 11th being moved. We haven't made a final decision about that. And then April 18th, committee of the whole, and April 25th, city council regular. Any other things going on? Okay,
When do you think a decision will be made on the 11th?
tomorrow. We'll know tomorrow.
Is it because of the Easter holiday?
Yes. Yeah, so many people travel during that time. We're gonna have some people.
Maybe think about maybe making it,
Or moving it up, or we don't know, maybe move what would be on the agenda forward or backwards. We're just gonna decide that. Or maybe even splitting it up. So, that being said, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion adjourned.